This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trail into Reaction. And I want to thank everyone who watches this channel and apologize because you're going to notice that there are times when the video content that I'm supposedly reacting to is blurred. That's obviously me doing it, but that's because YouTube is really particular, and unfortunately it's not predictable what's going to be copyrighted or not. I can't control it, and as I said, there's no way of knowing when someone is going to do it. Whatever I'm reviewing, I will start with the trailer. I just can't guarantee I can keep it up. The trailer. Duh. In any case, what I'm looking at is the video for Hulu's Helstrom, which is based upon the Marvel characters of the same name. And this was one of the last series produced by Marvel Television under Jeb Loeb. And it suffers from what a lot of series produced by Jeb Loeb suffer from. Namely, you have people who are trying to save a buck, which is to say, they're cutting costs however they can. And if you look at these images of Damon Helstrom and Satana, his sister, you see what I mean. The comic characters are ridiculous in the best possible way. They're so over the top and silly. And if you look at what I suspect we're going to see in this trailer, we're talking something visually in the vein of like the X-Files. It's not nearly going to be as spectacular, as batshit crazy as the actual characters seem to look. And that's a pity. I like the idea that under Jeb Loeb, new characters were introduced. I think that's important. Though, to be fair, that was less his design than the fact that Marvel Studios and Marvel Television at the time were two distinct entities. That's no longer the case. But in the past it was. So therefore, Jeb Loeb couldn't use Thor. He couldn't use the Hulk. He couldn't use Iron Man. So he used other characters. After all, there are literally hundreds of Marvel superheroes. So it's not like there's a shortage. But conversely, some are better known than others. Though, I honestly don't care as much that he had no choice. More so than that it was a really good move. No doubt. But once again, the cost cutting was not. Remember Inhumans? It was this huge event. And unlike what a lot of people will tell you, Inhumans didn't look terrible. It didn't look great, but it didn't look terrible either. But once again, you run into a situation where you have the man at the helm of it all cutting costs. And there's a lot of reasons for that, like Perlmutter. But nonetheless, it is what it is. And so the latest and the last project from Marvel Television, I think it's the last, MODOK, actually maybe it's not the last because MODOK is coming up, which is a cartoon, but I also believe that was commissioned under the old regime. But in any case, in the case of live action, Helstrom was the last project produced by Marvel Television, and let's take a look at that trailer.
For centuries, we've been fighting and keeping track of different things that move in and out of this world. The most dangerous ones, we find a way to contain. This isn't the worst ever.
Mom, can you hear me? I demand to speak with my mother.
I am mother.
My body is a cage.
It's Mom. The thing that's got a hold of her explodes.
Stanley's unnatural behavior. I've never experienced anything like it.
What happened to him? It wasn't some random family tragedy. His father was evil. And mother cursed
forces at play here. A demon so powerful, it could wipe out all of mankind. We can't do this alone.
We put them together now.
Look what we blow back.
Please tell me the is dead.
My body is a
I assume that was bitch.
You come crawling back. Looking for mommy's love.
The last thing the world needs is a Helstrom family reunion.
Well, that was a trailer for Helstrom, and I really like that. But at the same time, first off, it's a great trailer. But what's also going to happen is, and you can see it there, is that narratively speaking, it's going to be very conventional. And that's no surprise. And that's the pity. I've seen this already, though I have not seen this. Before I saw that trailer, I saw this series, which is the crime for me. You saw how outlandish those images were of these characters based on the comics, right? They couldn't tap into that. Let's understand something. The idea of a dude with a pentagram on his chest and wearing tights is silly. I get that. And I also don't think it would transfer well to live action. I get that too. But there's a middle ground to be reached. That's what interests me. That's the sweet spot. It's that area between ridiculousness and awesomeness. It's in that middle space, which is where this series could shine. And it's not going there. It's too somber, it's too sedate, and I mentioned earlier the X-Files. And that's what it feels like visually. And it doesn't have to be. It needs to be fantastical, weird, and strange. If you're not going to do it visually, do it narratively. Do a story which is, on the face of it, I hate to say confusing, but non-linear. A story that doesn't quite sink, deliberately so, as opposed to what I know we're going to see here, which is to say, a storyline which is relatively conventional with occasionally interesting visuals. In any case, that's what I think. What do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know down below. And since you're there, consider a like or a follow. And as I said before, I'm going to post this with the video for Helstrom. I may get a copyright strike, in which case I will remove the video. Though, I'll try to let you guys know as soon as I can. Thank you. Peace, and see you soon.